What are your top priorities as a candidate for the Select Board?
As a candidate for Select Board, my top three priorities are tax relief, new revenue streams, and the Hall-Tech Pilgrim 1600. Tax relief is an important issue right now as many in our community are struggling, especially our seniors. By the near criminal rates that Eversource has imposed on people, everyday taxpayers are struggling to pay their electric bills and their gas bills. As a town, we need to recognize this and seek out ways to alleviate the burden on our taxpayers. The town has shifted from just property taxes to raising fees on everything from trash to parking and dog licensing, etc. These need to stop. These hidden taxes need to stop. Plymouth needs to be livable. We need to be able to afford to live in our community in this difficult economic times. And people shouldn't be struggling to provide basic necessities such as electric and heat. So while I may not have all the answers on exactly where, I would like to start by going through our town budget, seeking out any areas of waste that we can eliminate, or any fluff that's in different departments as a quote-unquote just in case. To take a hard look at this budget, to keep it in line with what revenue does the town bring in, to stay away from our rainy day funds, and to make the town itself economically feasible. When I talk about new revenue streams, I talk about what services can the town of Plymouth provide in general, and not just to the citizens of Plymouth, that would bring in revenue to the town's coffers. One of the things that I look to do is to improve our animal shelter. Our current animal shelter is 40 to 50 years old and hasn't seen improvements that I can remember. So when I talk about a revenue stream, what can we do that would bring money in specific to that project? Can we partner with a 501c3, a large established one like New England Lab Rescue, or something else? Can we seek out state and federal grants specific to the care and protection of animals? Developing those revenue streams will alleviate the burden on the taxpayers. The next topic is the Hall-Tech Pilgrim 1600. We need to develop a concrete plan of action on this. Some of that's already in progress. But one of the big things that we need to develop is how are we going to fund this? What are we going to do that doesn't involve a Proposition 2.5 override that would burden you, the taxpayer? I am dead set against a Proposition 2.5 override, as I think that right now our taxes are burdening the average person beyond belief. We need to improve our town, but at the same time, we need to guard against making our town financially unlivable. So the three things I want to do: tax relief, especially for our seniors, new revenue streams, seeking out enterprise funds. What can we do? What services can we provide that would roll into an enterprise fund? An enterprise fund can carry money over from year to year and does not need to expend all of its money by June 30th. And look at Hall-Tech and say what is best for the town. Because residential develop on the Hall-Tech property would be disastrous for the town services. Police, fire, EMS, the schools, the hospital. To put in untold number of residential development on that property isn't sustainable for our town. So we need to develop a plan, which is somewhat in progress, but figure out our funding. And those are my three top priorities.
What challenges do you see as a candidate for the Select Board?
The challenges that I see as a candidate for Select Board, first off, is restoring decorum to our public meetings. In this culture of divisiveness and lack of respect in the post-COVID era needs to stop. And we need to acknowledge that everybody has a viewpoint, some of which we don't agree with. However, in this great country of ours, free speech is the most important thing. During public comment, you have to allow people to be heard. And if they're given 3 minutes at the podium, then their 3 minutes are their chance to express their viewpoints. In my past positions as an elected official within the town of Plymouth, one of which was during the Charter Commission, We, during public comment, would have people come in that would completely disagree with our viewpoint. However, that was their 3 minutes at the podium. That was their opportunity to be heard, to express their viewpoints. And as an elected official, you need to remain stoic and listen to their viewpoints and listen to what they have to say. It doesn't matter if it's repetitive. It doesn't matter if it's something you don't agree with. People sometimes just need to be heard. And as a select board member, I think one of the challenges is to restore that decorum, to restore that civility, to give everybody their opportunity to step up to the microphone and express their viewpoints. The other one is keeping the national divide out of our local politics. We are in such a polarized time right now, but all politics are local. What we need to focus on is what's good for the town of Plymouth, what's good for the residents, what's good for the taxpayers, and try and stay away from this big picture, divisive atmosphere that's occurring in our country. Focus on our residents, our Plymouthians, and make Plymouth the best place we can for them without delving into partisan politics. The other is the financial struggles. Our town has a very significant budget, a large portion of which is taken up by the schools. However, we need to realize that the taxpayers are not a blank checkbook. We need to be responsible. We need to look at this budget. We need to go through it line by line by line and have department heads explain each line. Simply sending it off to the FinCom and then rubber stamping whatever the FinCom decides is not good leadership. It's not good management. It's not good financial stewardship of the town. We need to recognize that our taxpayers are struggling, and we need to seek ways to help them, to make Plymouth affordable, to make Plymouth livable, and, where possible, to reduce taxes and fees. Again, as a person, I have a checkbook. I have a weekly budget, and I can't go beyond that weekly budget because there's no money. The citizens are not an overdraft for the town, and I think that acknowledgement has been lacking. So I think those are my three challenges: restoring decorum, keeping the national divide out of our local politics, and addressing our residents' financial struggles. Thank you.
What opportunities do you see as a candidate for the Select Board?
The opportunities that I see as a candidate for Select Board are endless. The opportunity to shape our town for generations to come while keeping our hometown feel is probably the most important thing that I see. When I was a kid growing up downtown, when I walked through the center of town, I knew everybody I saw, or I knew what family they were from. And that was a small town Plymouth. Back in the 70s, early 80s, when Plymouth was only about 25,000 people. Now we've grown 3 times that. But we still have the opportunity to keep that hometown feel. Working with the Historic District Commission to keeping our downtown focused on tourism, to keeping it quaint. But at the same time, looking to the villages. What do the villages need to shape each village in its own special way? Dog parks have been a huge issue. People needed a place for their dogs to go out and play and be enjoyed and run somewhat free. And looking to our residents, really, and saying, what is it that your village in Plymouth needs? What would you like to see down there? And giving the people the opportunity to participate in the process. And I think that is one of the biggest things that's lacking right now. While all select board members say that they're reachable 24/7, how many actually have office hours? As a select board member, I plan on having office hours, whether it's at the Council on Aging or the library or my law office in Camelot Park, and giving you, the residents, the opportunity to come and say, Scott, this is what I think we should do. Because I don't have all the answers. You have all the answers. And together, we can solve the problems of the town of Plymouth. I want to protect our residents from Eversource. One of the things that people know about me, if you've known me for a while, is once I bite into something, I don't let go. And we need to do more than just sending a harshly worded letter to the Department of Public Utilities. We really need to hold Eversource's feet to the fire and make Plymouth affordable so that people aren't struggling just to pay their gas and electric bill. So in summary, the opportunities as a member of the Plymouth Select Board are endless. We need to keep shaping our town in the priorities of our residents, keeping that hometown feel, protect our residents from Eversource, and focus on the priorities of our constituents. And those opportunities as a Select Board member are endless. Thank you. In closing, my name is Scott Vecchi. I'm an attorney, a retired gunnery sergeant of Marines, a disabled combat veteran of Iraq, a retired Plymouth Police Sergeant, and I currently work as an EMT in our community. My entire life has been about service. Service to our country, service to our state, service to our community. And I'm asking you for your vote on or before May 17th for the Plymouth Select Board. Please help me help you and continue my lifetime of service. I've served on many boards and commissions for over the past 15 years, whether it was as a town meeting member, on the Charter Review Committee, the Historic District Commission, the last Charter Commission, and I'm currently the Vice Chair of the Plymouth Redevelopment Authority. I've always sought out ways to help our community. And to me, that is my duty as a citizen, to continue my lifetime of service. But I need your help. I need your vote. It's time for change. It's time for somebody with decisive leadership to help steer our community in the direction that benefits all of our residents. Again, my name is Scott Vecchi. I'm asking for your vote on or before May 17th. Thank you.